Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your boy josh.exe back with another video. I've been tremendously lazy the past couple of months, but I'm feeling the spark again. I'm feeling it. Lesson learned, don't try to put yourself on a schedule if you don't like schedules. Yeah. Sorry if you can hear some background noise. My dishwasher is doing some weird things over there. I've also got some coffee that I'm sipping on, so my bad if that's a thing for you. Also, still like to do interviews, so if anybody wants to, hit me up. Anyway, let's get on with this episode of the Catalogue Project. We're reviewing one of my favorites, Blank Banshee 1, the second release from Blank Banshee, originally released in 2013. This cassette was purchased from their store, the Hologram Bay. They occasionally put things up there. Please check it out. Do not spend like $100 on a Blank Banshee release, because you could probably find it a lot cheaper just by going to their actual store. Yeah. I got this 2018. The Hologram Bay bundle came with Blank Banshee 0, 1, and Mega. Big fan of the presentation here. The J-card's nice and glossy and the right material to not have big creases on it when it's folded into place. And I enjoy a lot of the tracks. Like, they have their own logos on there. And they're all on the packaging somewhere. It's pretty cool. It's also nice to have the track listing for each side on the cassette itself. Just so you pick it up and you're not like, is Paradise Disc the last track? It is, but you know what I'm saying. Let's kick into it. Let's give it a go. So we got infinite logins. I love this track, how it's all login noises that we kick some drums into. It's a great way to kick off the album. Somehow it's even catchy. I find myself just going like apple cider, like at work all the time. Sometimes I even put the album on. It's weird. Kitchen doesn't like it, but yeah. Eco Zones. I feel like this is just the underwater track from Donkey Kong Country with some beats and just sort of vocals over it, but I love it so much, and I love the water drop effects at the end that drop us right into meta material, which is kind of a weird one. The baby cry is the pots and pans sounding, I guess, drums. It's really odd, and it adds a surreal vibe as it continues. It comes off as weirdly mellow despite how odd it is. It manages to be kind of catchy as well. The ending chant's a little nuts, though. I put it on while I was tripping once, and I was just like, am I losing my mind? That's why it's, skip to Paradise Disc. The ending chant's nuts. It's a cool touch, and it's super out there, but it's pretty cool. Anxiety Online. I really like the ambient quality this one has. The like labored noises with the chat noises really illustrate the theme of like waiting for that next message to come back. And it's got like camera shutter sounds and upload noises, and it just kind of comes together. It's really well thought out. I like that chat anxiety that it exemplifies. It's really cool. It's a really neat track. Java Cloud's really mellowed, subdued to start. Some distorted vocals and piano come in, but it stays slow, almost ethereal from start to finish. It's a nice break to just chill out while you listen. LSD Polyphony. I really like how the voices start off extremely distorted and come in and out of focus. It's a really cool touch, and the chilled out beat with the swelling and the fading backing track make for a great listening experience. We got Conflict Minerals. It's a hard transition straight from LSD Polyphony into a much more intense track, almost a sense of urgency as we kick in with up-pitched vocals, faster beat with some cool hi-hat work. This one's well-placed and or well-paced, and I really enjoy like all the chops and stutters on the vocals and the steady build and volume of the backing track right before the end. It's just super nice. Metal Rain. This track is a bear. It's so noisy and intense with that main dirty synth riff blaring through and then fading out so we can get this light synth lead and bass riff. It's really cool. And it works super well as a contrast to one another. It almost sounds to me like the wind coming and going, like the storm comes in and then you get like a bit of a reprieve as like the clouds keep moving. It gives you this pretty almost sun is coming out break with the track really lightening up and then back into that main dirty synth riff. Excellent way to close out the A-side. Big Gulp. This track is great. I really like the metal pipe or pots and pans, whatever kind of sound it is, used for the drums. One of those sort of vocals, once the sort of vocals in the backing track really come in, it's super fun to listen to, and I like the decent in the song, almost like you're going somewhere underground, and the cries and like the rattling. It's really cool, like just like a descending feel throughout. It's really neat. This whole album's really cool. So spoiler alert. If you haven't listened to it, you probably should. Also, if you haven't listened to it, how'd you get here? Leave a comment. Doldrum Corp, very chilled out. Like, we ended our descent into a lobby somewhere, and some building there's some building on a really simple drum and synth riff with more of those distorted vocals. It's kind of a hallmark, is kind of using those kind of vocal tracks as like not necessarily for like a percussive effect, but like to accent, and I like it. More of that. Yeah, and I just like that they're used as like an instrument. It's pretty cool. Just wanted to point that out. By the end, it's dropped out pretty much everything except for the initial beat that we bring back into a more full version of the track. But it keeps itself pretty calm and pleasant. It's really nice. Cyber Slums. We start off with some vocals used almost as a synth lead while the bass and drums filter in. Then the track really takes off. It has such a cool synth lead, and the warm bass tones underneath are great. And after about one rep, it just drops everything back out before building it back up again. I love this track. It's one of my favorite on the albums. And if somehow you haven't heard it, I will link it specifically in the description. It's super cool. Yeah, check that one out, even if you don't want to listen to the whole album. This track's amazing. Realization, super mellow while a woman talks to you about the sun on your skin and how nice the air feels. It's really nice. And the tone of the backing track is also really familiar to me somehow. And then the tone from like Metal Rain can be heard in the background at one point too. It's just really cool, really well thought out track. I really like it. Solar Plexus, we get a nice beat, nice little pitter patter on the drums to kick us off before some more vocals kick in. They're very staccato in this one, and eventually we get some cool login sounds. And the track really kicks with like the synth lead coming in. This album's so cool. Like, just check out this album. Then we get Paradise Disc. It's another super cool track. We get some sick reverb drums into one of the catchiest leads on the album. I get it stuck in my head a lot. It's really cool. It's just so upbeat with the flute break in the middle and everything dropping to half tempo at parts on the drums. This is another one I'm going to link specifically in the description. Like, if you haven't listened to Paradise Disc, listen to Paradise Disc. It's great. Hidden Reality, as all good things must come to an end, so must this album, but it ends on a great note. The intro is great. There's this like soft synth string riff that leads us throughout as the track just kind of ebbs and flows. There's a sense of discovery to the whole thing. It's just really cool. And like overall, like, man, what an album. I love it. There's so much to listen to. The pacing is on point. It's 5 out of 5. Were you expecting anything else from an album like this? The whole album is stuff I like, even if at times I struggle to explain what exactly is going on. If you can pick one up, grab it. Just straight up do it. You won't regret it. It's a cool cassette, great presentation, just nice to have. Thanks for watching. Links are in the description as always. Please like and subscribe if you want. Like I said, if you're an up-and-coming vaporwave men's or vaporwave ladies or vaporwave non-binaries or vaporwave anybody's, just hit me up. I'd love to do another interview. I like talking to you guys. Yeah, later guys.